financial markets, cryptocurrency, gold and silver, world news.
Fair to say you simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally, and we do that by buying treasury bills. That actually increases the money supply.
Financial turmoil explained.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Friday, the 10th of June, 2022. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here and take a look at what's going on. Inflation storm devastates U.S. households as fuel, power, and food become unaffordable. Yeah, we all know what's happening out there. This isn't just isolated to the United States of America. Great Britain is in terrible problems, with this. In fact, every country on earth. Over in the East, too. China, Russia, they're not exempt. They're going through tremendous hardship on the people of every single nation, including the United States. The nations that are considered first world nations. Really getting hit hard right now. And people aren't used to this. We've been through a 40-year credit cycle, a binge on credit. And we're used to a soft, cushy lifestyle. And, people that are used to a hard lifestyle, used to hardship all their life, they wouldn't even be used to this. They would have a hard time with it. But let me explain something to you. Now, picture in your mind, if some big scientists say it was a university or whatever, or some big, they're going to do an experiment, with flies. Okay, so they get this guy and they get this room. And first they put it, and they were observing him. They had hidden cameras everywhere watching him. And first they sent him into the room, and there's one fly in the room, and all he had was a fly swatter. No problem. He walks over, smack, the fly's dead. Okay? So then they up it to 10 flies. Okay? And then he put him in the room, and he goes around, he hunts all 10 flies. It takes him a few minutes, but he gets rid of all 10. Smack, 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 smack with the fly swatter. Room's free of flies. And then they put him in with 100 flies. Well, it takes him a little while, but he gets all 100. Then they put him in with 1,000 flies. And I mean, it takes him hours, but he is successful. Then they put him in with 10 million flies. Well, sadly to say, he didn't make it. He didn't make it. Simple as that. They couldn't even get him out of the room in time. Okay? So, there's a difference, see. I see that the people out here, there's 8 billion people now on Earth. Just in the United States alone, I think there's over 400 million people. It's a lot of people. And, they've compared the people on Earth, to like flies, They've called us deplorables. Listen, behind the scenes, you don't know the names that the rich people and the people who are influential, the people in power, the world leaders and everything else, when they talk about us. They know that we're different from them. They've excluded us from them. We're not part of them. It's them and us. Them and or us. They've called us deplorables. They've called us every name you can possibly think of in the book. They don't like us. To them, we're like flies. But what they don't see coming, and they always see the world as being controlled. They control us through their laws that they make, and they just make them arbitrarily now. They don't even tell us. We just all of a sudden find out there's some new law. You can't do this, you can't do that. Say, well, we used to have the right. We used to have rights. We used to be able to do this. We used to be able to do that. And they say, no, last night they decided they were going to put through a new law. Now you can't do that anymore. Sorry. Well, and then the people say, well, that's going to affect us in a very negative way. Pay no attention to that. Pay no attention to the man behind the green curtain. that's pulling the levers. You just live your lives over here and leave us alone and let us run everything for you. See, this is the problem when you always look to an external source to solve your problems for you. And this is what mankind has done. They've always looked outside to try to find somebody else who will handle it for you. And then you give them that control and that power. And yeah, they're handling it for you. They are taking you to the cleaners. But it's really going to come to the fore. Because it's devastating U.S. households now. And why do you think the Fed is so desperate right now to try to stop inflation? Because they know what's coming. But there's no way out. There's no way out because if they fight inflation, they're going to destroy the economy. And then if they destroy the economy, it's just going to make things worse again. And it says here, inflation frustration. The people are frustrated. And this is all going to come to a head in the next few months. Because the inflation's run away right now. And in order to try to cool it down, they're going to destroy the economy. And then they're going to go back to inflating again, which is going to make the inflation, it's going to compound it that much worse again. And it should be a no-brainer what's going to happen next. The people are going to be like the flies in the room. And, you know, I mean, it's just going to be like all over the earth. Every country is going to experience this. It's going to be like nothing we've ever seen before, because at the same time, when you get the people really riled and they start to become like the flies, ultimately where that leads is to making things worse again, because everything starts to dysfunction. If you take a look at how dysfunctional that can make the system even more dysfunctional than it is now, to the point where it can't function at all. And then everybody's on their own. You know, they're already cutting funding. They're already saying to, like, you know, when you call 911 or whatever, they're saying that probably because of gas constraints and stuff, they're not going to come out unless it's an emergency call. Oh, you know, I can see it now. You know, some woman, she's in the back room of her house because she's got home invaders. Oh my goodness, they're in her house. She can hear them in the other room. So she calls up 911. 911 operator. Yes. Oh, they're in the other room. Oh, they've invaded my house. Oh. Well, let me ask you, are you hurt? Are you injured or anything? And the woman says, well, no. And she says, well, why are you whispering? Because they're in the other room, she says. They've been broken into my house. Hurry, quick, bring the police. And the 911 operator says, well, you're not injured. And they're in the other room. Are they injured? No. The woman says, no, they're not. And the 911 operator says, well, please don't call anymore unless it's an emergency. And she hangs up on her. That's the kind of world we're going into. You see? We're going into a world where they hire people, whoever they can get. They don't even train them anymore. The police are going to run out of gasoline to even go anywhere except for the station. They're just going to have to, I guess they're just going to have to sit in their station all day because they don't have any gas in their cars. This is the kind of world we're going into. And what are they going to do? Go on the phone and they're going to order up Dunkin' Donuts and have it delivered with, what's that delivery guy called? That's DoorDash or whatever. They'll get DoorDash. Bring it right to the station house. And the DoorDash guy, he'll have to ride on a bicycle. You know, and of course the police, they won't be able to ride on a bicycle because they've got too fat on the DoorDash. I mean, this is the kind of world we're headed into right now. We're headed into a world that doesn't function. Even emergency services, in the end, probably will start to disconnect and start to not function. And forget about going to the grocery store. That's the first place all these hungry people are going to head. And you know, they're like I say, they're like the flies. They're going to be billions of them. I mean, it's just going to be, in the end, you can't control them and what they do too. Where does it all end? This is what happens when you create a monetary system worldwide that's backed by nothing and is a Ponzi scheme. It all breaks down in the end, and it's going to start to break down in the next few months. It just can't take it anymore. We've had too many things coming at it now, and the people are starting to get frustrated, and that frustration is going to turn into anger, and that anger is going to turn into action, ultimately, in the end. And it's just going to be too many to quell. And, you know, I mean, ultimately, the law enforcement around the world, doesn't matter what country you're in, they can quell. It's like the thing with the flies. It's a guy with the fly swatter. He could go in there and he could stop it when it was up to 1,000 flies. But when you get 10 million, it's everywhere then. And what are you going to do? You know, and this is the situation that we're headed toward worldwide. I mean, I've had a little rant now. I'm going to get into the markets, and let's take a look at silver. 21.63. It's down 5 cents. Basically, what I'm telling you guys, I guess, is when you come to the realization that it might not be this month, it might be next month, and you'll say, hey, Glenn was right, it's stiff drink time at that point, you know. Because this is a mess, and then you're going to have to think, how am I going to navigate my way through this without it affecting me in too much of an adverse way? One of the big things is when the trouble starts, stay away from the trouble. Avoid it. Try to go the other direction. Don't get curious and say, "Oh, look, what's that happening over there? There's smoke rising on that street over there. You know, a couple blocks away, and I hear bang, bang, bangs and stuff. And what are they doing over there? And there's smoke and everything else. I think I'll go over there and see what's happening." Don't do that, because that's how you're going to get. That's how you will meet your end, possibly, when this trouble comes. Go in the opposite direction. Go away from it. Hide from the problems, you know, because these problems are going to be unmanageable anyway. If you think you're going to be able to fix it, there's no fixing this. This is a total mess worldwide in every different country on earth, and it's going to end in a very, very negative way, but it is going to come to an end. I'll give you an example of what's happening right now. And I know I'm back on this rant again. But we're like a guy who's been stumbling around in the dark, and he's fell into a mine shaft right now, and right now he's free falling. Well, there's no harm happened to him. When he's in the free fall, there's no harm. He's falling down the shaft right now, gaining speed, but the air's rushing by him, and he's had nothing happened to him yet. He's fine yet, and that's the way with the world right now. Everybody out there right now is fine. You're fine, but you're free falling. This system is collapsing. We're in free fall right now. And you know there's going to be an end to it. The end was when you smacked into the ground. Boom. Then how bad's it going to be? We don't know yet. But because we haven't hit bottom yet. We're going to hit bottom at a tremendous speed. Bang, it's going to be right in your face when you hit it. And you're going to have to navigate your way through that to the other side. If you're successful at navigating your way through it to the other side, then things will start to get better. But we're not going to get better until we hit rock bottom. Boom. Okay? That's what's going on. So today we're up 2 cents in silver, 21.70. Cryptocurrency, well, we're going to have to do gold. We tend to forget gold, but gold is down $1.40. It's trying to spring back right now. But it's like I told you. You see these big smackdowns yesterday and stuff, right? They got mining production costs to consider at this point. And mining production costs went way up just recently because silver and gold are directly connected to the price of energy to extract silver and gold. And it shot up. I mean, it shot up. It's probably shot up by like 30 or 40% what the mining production cost is on these metals. And they cannot let it go below mining production costs, or the mines they'll just closed down. They'll just say, hell, we're not going to mine it out for free. Sorry, find some other stupid person that's going to work for free if you want to work for free on these spot prices. It ain't going to happen. Sorry, even shipping. Shipping is going through the roof. But you got to move. I mean, you just can't leave the silver there at the front door of the mine. You got to get it to the customers. That's shipping. And too, shipping costs, if they keep the price of silver down as low as they're keeping it, shipping costs will exceed the price of the silver. I mean, it's just, everything's just going crazy right now. Anyway, cryptocurrency today. Well, there's no shipping costs on this stuff. 1204, but we're looking at 29,545 for a Bitcoin today. Let's take a look at the Dow. Dow is down 788 points, or 713 right now. I told you guys yesterday, I was on here telling you guys that this is the a dead cat bounce, and here she goes. I mean, I told you it was ready again to become unstable. The markets to become unstable again. Right now they're pricing in what the Fed's doing. And the Fed's going to continue doing it, and they're going to continue pricing it in. Pricing it in means a drop in the markets. So this is going to continue until the Fed says, ouch. Until the Fed says, hey, this ain't working for us. This tightening schedule ain't working for us. All it's doing is destroying the economy. Well, see, I know this already. But they're desperate. They're desperate. Desperate people do desperate things. They're trying to take this desperate course of action, and really it is buying them a little bit of time, but it's moving us toward a sudden snap toward deflation, a whiplash. A whiplash from first you're going in one direction, then you're going in the opposite direction. Benga banga, and yeah, we've had inflation, but this could move into a sudden snap toward deflation. I mean, called a market meltdown, a deleveraging event, where it's exposed. Basically, the deleveraging event exposes that all of it's worthless. It exposes it, though. See, right now, they're all out there trading back and forth their Fugazi. But their Fugazi is all worthless. It's absolutely worthless. Worthless paper. And the deleveraging event proves that it's worthless paper. That's all it's doing. It's just proving that it's true, that it's all worthless. The whole system's worthless. Okay. Crude oil. 121.44. Down 7 cents, but it's $121. Look at it. It's just been a straight line up over the last year. Crude oil, higher and higher and higher. How high is it going to go? This is going to crush everything itself. Move index today, 105.29. Get ready for some massive instability in the next few months. That's going to translate into the people losing it worldwide. All the people out there are going to lose it. They're going to lose it. And that's where the big change is going to come in, when the people lose it. Then big changes are going to happen. Big, monumental size changes to the structure of everything on Earth. I don't see any way they can avoid this, because they've created a Ponzi scheme that can't end any other way except destroying the entire system. And she's going down. She's sinking. I warned you guys months ago. I said the Titanic is sinking. Yes, a big boat takes a long time to sink. Okay, let's move on, and let's take a look at bonds and rates today. And we're seeing yields rise. 3.12 on the U.S. 10-year and 3.20 on the U.S. 30-year. And now let's finish off with the dollar index, which is really shooting up at 104.22. The dollar is going almost straight up today. Really gaining on the dollar. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe. And we'll catch you guys in the next show. And you guys have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.